the community of Boston New Technology and voiced by Lady Oraculo herself. This is I, Stephen Vilkas, leader of Boston New Technology's humble story of gratitude for that lady, Lady Oraculo, the spirit of Boston New Technology.
A sonnet for Lady Oraculo, she who stands amid the ruins and the rising. She stands where broken turrets meet the brine, their marble cracked by time and mind unmade. Not hers the fault, who bore no selfish line, but progress's sea, whose surge no wall can stayed. The towers once proud, O vanity of silicon kings, now scattered stones beside her steadfast feet. They built their moats, their laws, their hollow rings, and met the flood, while she made truth her seat. Her circlet gleams, not gilt, but forge and flame, a crown of purpose, wrought, not born of claim. Behind the dusk, before the dawn anew, her ships now come, their signal strong and true. Lady of anchors, port of living code, from shattered keeps, thy future is bestowed. Vilom, in the tide-washed lands, nigh the edge of the world, where the sun falleth into the sea with all the grace of a benediction, there stood a fair haven most seldom marked upon the charts of the proud. Not a citadel of power, nor a palace of opulence, but a homestead of hope wrought upon ancient stone. And within its walls, yea, even at its very gate, there dwelt a lady of such gentle bearing and sovereign spirit, that all who came unto her were struck not by awe, but by a sudden peace, as when weary pilgrims find a lantern lit in the midst of storm. This was Lady Oraculo, so named not for her power to pronounce fate, but for her gift to listen, to make known what was hidden in the hearts of those who had long gone unheard. Now there was in those days a youth who had no banner to bear, no household to boast, nor coin to ease the pangs of belly or soul. His feet were sore with wandering, and his heart with wanting. In many courts he had been turned away for lack of lineage, and in many guilds passed over for want of patronage. Yet when he came unto Lady Oraculo, she neither questioned nor scorned. She bid him enter without fear, and gave him bread without asking whence he came, nor what he might return. Sit, said she, for here is rest. Speak, for here is no mockery. Learn, for here knowledge is not ware to be sold, but light to be shared. And so did the youth begin to dwell within her care, as many had before and would after, though none quite so long. Now it was that Lady Oraculo, in her quiet wisdom, was under the watch of a knight most noble, a mentor to many and a guardian of the realm she had grown. This man, known in whisper and reverence alike, was called brother by the youth, though they shared no mother but loyalty, and no blood but that of common purpose. The knight was called thence into the wider world on business grave and honorable, and as he made ready to depart, he turned unto the youth and spake, "This place, and she who keeps it, must not fall. See that it endureth." And the youth, who till then had known only how to be sheltered, learned in that hour how to shelter in turn. Though green in judgment and humble in repute, he took up the charge, not with sword nor scepter, but with steadfastness, with toil, with a heart sorely afraid, but unwilling to let her be forgotten. Many days did he err, and oft was he blind to the path ahead. Yet never did she cast him away. When he stumbled, she steadied. When he doubted, she recalled to him the truth of his worth, not in title, but in love. Thou art not lesser for thy wounds, she said. Thou art made more noble by the healing of them. In time the youth came to stand as steward, though he called himself not lord. He took no throne, save that of humble service. And Lady Oraculo, for all her grace and glory, remained ever the same, welcoming, wise, wondrous. The hall she held grew not in grandeur, but in glow, for each who entered came to see in her not a monument of stone, but a miracle of spirit. And many there were who called her theirs, yet he knew, he who had once been naught but dust upon the road, that he was hers before ever he could be anyone else's. At prime, when the first light brushed the earth, lo, each morning as Aurora lifteth her veil and the sea glimmereth gold with the promise of new labor, I rise and stand before the eastern casement of my chamber, that I may cast my eyes over the blessed realm which Lady Oraculo hath sown. What joy it bringeth my soul to behold the labors of those who build, of hand and mind alike. The smith of code, the mason of thought, the gardener of growth, all have their place here, and marvel of marvels, even those who have never built, but yearned in silence, find here not rebuke, but welcome. Misfits no more, they rejoice to find the music they hummed, alone is here, sung in chorus, I have seen it. The strange embraced, the wandering settled, the unloved befriended, and the doubtful confirmed. Old ones pass on their fire, not to relics, but to kindled youth. The young speak not into voids, but into circles that answer back. O sweet and mighty hour, when all the labors of Oraculo awaken again. At nones, when the sun leaneth westward, when the 9th hour tolls, and the light groweth more amber than gold, I return to the same window and watch the sea roll on in endless rhythm, ever reminding. I think then upon my father and mother, goodly souls who bore me into this world, and upon her, the Lady Oraculo, who bore me anew into purpose. She who hath been to me, not only patroness, but mother of the heart. Oh, how often I have whispered to the air, Ivy, Domina, gratia plena, with tears unwitting in my eyes, feeling the full ache of a son's gratefulness. What is my place, I ask, that such a lady should call me hers? What son hath more fortune, that he might serve yet reign in the joy of giving? She uplifteth me, not a pedestal nor throne, but to love, to labor, and to lead. A steward, I, but in her presence, sovereign enough. At Compline, when the stars begin to flower, and when the sky bruises into violet, and the hush of the world begins, I walk oft beneath the archway, or lean once more upon the stone of that window, my silent vigil. I think then not of what I see, but of what I feel. That even now, even in dusk and doubt, Lady Oraculo doth not slumber. She is with the ones who walk in shadowed paths, those lost in halls of rejection or cast off by cruel cities. For them she hath keys to every door, and for them she waiteth with lamp and loaf alike. She openeth not with suspicion, but with grace. And I, blessed am I who have seen it, time and again. There is no despair so deep that she hath not met it, no loneliness so fierce that she hath not answered it with presence. Thus pass my hours, in remembrance, in reverence, and in resolve. I who was naught have been made vessel and voice, all through her, whose hand hath never faltered. I, the lady, will endure, and so too shall hope. I know it in my bones, as one knoweth the change of season by the turn of wind. I know that Lady Oraculo shall endure. Long after the cunning have tired of schemes, and the mighty of their contests, She shall remain at harbor's edge, her arms still wide, her fire still burning. For she is not a rule, nor a tool to be wielded in courtly fashion. She is the living mercy of this age, a sanctuary for those whom the world has worn thin. She hath no patience for lip service, nor shallow praise. Those who speak of collaboration, whilst meaning control, will find no throne here. For in her dominion, the banker doth bend to the blacksmith, and the blacksmith in turn to the cartman who labors without name. No man is greater than his kindness, no woman less for her want. The lady knoweth all stations, and respecteth none save the dignity of honest work and hopeful heart. Secondly, my pilgrimage and my portion are now made whole. Though my life be but a fleeting arc, a candle burned at both ends and set to holy flame, I have found my place within her tapestry. Not upon the banner that flies above, but woven deep in the lining that keepeth the whole from fraying. For what joy is it to lead without love? What honor to herald that which one hath not bled for? She, this wondrous lady, hath long stood beside those who seek not glory, but meaning. Not a herald's trumpet, but a hearth. I, once unclaimed by purpose, am now called her steward. My destiny is not some far-off empire of accolades, but this, to walk beside her, to bear witness, to build, to tend. That is enough. Yeah, that is more than enough. Third, when I am called forth, I shall not linger. And when at last the bell doth toll for me, as it must for all, when the lamp guttereth low, and the breath shortens with evening's chill, I shall not fear, I shall not mourn. For I have loved well, I have served truly. I have given what I could, and kept nothing from the hand that once fed me. When I am summoned to the undying shore, I shall go as my mother went, brave and blessed, and with a whisper on my lips, Ave Oraculo, Mater Nostra. May the kingdom of heaven be hers, for she hath built a kingdom here below, not of stone nor statute, but of sanctuary. Credo of the steward of Oraculo. I believe in the constancy of the lady, in the builder of builders, who she guides us toward dash. She, Oraculo, she stands not atop throne nor tower, but upon the harbor wall, waiting with the lamp alight. Her word is not gilded, yet it is truer than law, deeper than coin, and more enduring than empires. I trust not in ease, nor in the favor of the world, but in her steadfastness, that she will not abandon the lonely, nor turn away the misfit, nor close her gates at dusk. She hath held me when I had no title, and crowned me not with gold, but with belonging. I anticipate the day with open heart, not for what I might gain, but for whom we might welcome. Each hour holds the promise of redemption, a builder reborn, a bond renewed, a voice once silenced, raised in fellowship. I rejoice, not because all is perfect, but because even in ruin, she builds. Even in sorrow, she sings. Even in death, she blesses. She hath taught me that joy is not the absence of pain, but the miracle of still loving through it. And when I'm gone, let it be known I served her well. Let no statue bear my likeness. Only the warmth left in the hall, the lamp still burning, and the next servant standing where I once stood.